Welcome to Xceptional TV. My name is Karen Judd Smith and I'm your host. This week we have Petra Contrada joining us from Germany. While she identifies with New York City, there also have been a number of other cities of import to her life throughout the years. So I'm sure that she'll get into those details and tell you a little bit about that. What we'll be exploring with Petra this week is her unique approach to leading your life and your business. And her take on it is that she wants people to stop running their lives and their business. So she'll tease out, I think, for you what she means, the difference here. So welcome. I'm honored to introduce you to Petra Contrada, someone who's known as the Charisma Catalyst. Welcome. Charisma Catalyst. The Charisma Catalyst.
Yes.
So how do you catalyze people's charisma? Tell me about that.
Okay, let me go a little bit further back. So yes, people call me the charisma catalyst because this is what I do. I work with leaders, entrepreneurs, people that want to get their message out, that want to be heard, and most of them do not know how to go out with clarity, courage, and confidence. And really step up to the plate and rise and shine. And I help them to do that. With more energy, I have tools and techniques to enhance their vibrational energy and help them to really get out, discover their greatness, and get out with confidence and courage. So coming back to where originally, many years ago, I had a big epiphany, and that changed my life completely. I was always a very enthusiastic person and very energetic. But the thing is, the life is so interesting and it's so amazing. I grew up as an ugly duckling in Germany, in a very normal, dysfunctional family. And
a normal dysfunctional family. Okay. Sadly, that's probably too much.
And again, I as I said, I started out very shy. I was an ugly duckling. I was thick glasses and more tomboy than a little girl. And that may be why I chose a very worldly career in the beauty industry that took me to living in Egypt, training in London, Paris, and New York. And I worked for the top cosmetic brands in the world, not only in Germany. I worked international. That also led me to New York. But the main interest I always had was educating people and helping people to rise and shine. Because it brings me a lot of pleasure, and to see how people can shift from their normal belief system to their normal mind system when they discover that there's much more in the world. And
so if I may, when people talk about charisma, and you've spoken about it as something that brings out something within them, but oftentimes charisma is also associated with leadership.
Yes.
And so I'm assuming that you've got those dots connected in there too.
Absolutely. Because I help leaders to develop more charisma.
Okay.
A lot of leaders are actually shy. Because they how it all depends also how we grow up and what our influences are and our beliefs in ourselves. But most people don't believe much in themselves. Even the richest people, like Steve Jobs and other people, they were originally not that outgoing and shy. Jeff Bezos and all these people that are out there that are now very charismatic, they were originally very hold back and not very exciting, I would say. I always say, what makes Tony Robbins and Oprah? They're the shining stars that everybody looks at and says, oh my God, I wish I would be like this, outgoing, open, and on stage. This is because a lot of people that are out there, they are aware, consciously or subconsciously, that there is more than being, that there is an energy that we are radiating, that we are vibrating. And when we are not in the right energy flow, we cannot attract the people that we want to attract because they don't see us, they don't hear us. The vibration is not right. It has to be in a way that people can recognize. So most people have fear. They have lack of self-worth. They have a lack of courage. They are afraid that they're doing anything wrong. When we see, like, even the most successful people, they shiver with their knees when they maybe have to go onto stage, and we all face it. But these people like Tony Robbins are people that have charisma, that overcame that obstacle. And this is a matter of energy, and one can learn that, and one can work on oneself to develop this. Because there is also a vibrational scale about, I always love to say, he or she who can see the invisible can do the impossible. So most people just think about, I believe, in only what I see. And this is a fatal mistake, because there is so much more beyond that. Because a lot of people know that we have aura, we have energy centers, we have radiance. It's like 5G and wavelengths, and it starts with energy is there all the time, and it is proven that it is there. So the energy that we are radiating is determined by the way that we think, by the way that we act, and by our fears and worries and anxiety.
And it seems to me that one of the things that people, maybe one of the blocks or limiting beliefs that people have, that's a very popular word these days, is that, or phrase, is that people often think they've either got it or they don't. They've either got charisma or they don't have it, and don't always think about it as something that they can develop and cultivate. Is that true?
No. I mean, what I said earlier, there are even people that have charisma and have a vibration and don't believe in themselves. It is a basic human thing that we always put ourselves down. That, of course, they are the exception that know, oh my God, and they have the self-confidence. It all depends on your belief system, your mindset, and so on. But most people do not have. So I'm in a lot of groups and network a lot. And right now, today on Zoom, it's a very good example. You are in a course, you are in a networking event, and there are like 20, 50, 100 people, and you see these little pictures. And then when people talk, people, and these are most people that are business owners, that are entrepreneurs, they have their, stuff going on. And some of them are really out there. They know they found the confidence, but most of them, I say 95% of the people that I see in these groups, they could, but they don't, because they don't know how, and they are stuck in a belief system, in a mindset that they maybe cannot, or they have the lack of the courage. They would love to, but they can't. But one can learn this. One can, but one can learn to create charisma and radiance, and it's all a matter of doing the right things. And there are different possibilities what you can and should do. For example, my gift that I'm giving away today is my daily Superpower primer, which is a 20-plus minute exercise, a morning primer that gets you up and running at the right spot energetically. So starting with gratitude belief system, creating your future. It is not only, done, a lot of people think, with affirmations, I can change my life. It depends on how you use it. So there are certain tools and techniques how you can make yourself radiant. And very important is We are networking, I call it horizontal networking when we're at networking events, but we also need to network vertically and align with our energy and align with something bigger than us to also radiate more, to get other people into our sphere and attract them.
Okay, then so you're talking about attraction. It seems that it's all about bringing people to you. Is there something that that is being done to allow them to feel heard as well? How do you deal with that aspect of the human being? Because I think my understanding is that one of the, some of the most fundamental things about human beings is that we're seen and we're heard. And so you're very importantly helping people
to get
come out to be seen and heard.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So then when that's helping them do that, are there ways that do you teach them to help others to feel seen and heard?
First of all, we are all role models as well. Starting from our birth, we learn from our parents, we learn from our environment. When we create and when we learn and when we are in that presence, in that charisma, in that radiance that we are also a role model for these people. And of course, people can teach others, but it all depends on what you do. What is your message to the world? Is it your message to do that, like mine is, change? They called me always a queen of change, because I have changed my life dramatically, and I have helped, was instigating in helping my clients and other people's life changing dramatically. But it is all depends on what is your message.
So what are some of the key elements of that change, of that impact that you have?
Okay, so first of all, we have to dig deep in who I am, what I am, and who do I want to be. This, we have to go to certain steps. We have to dig deep because first of all, we have our belief system, our mindset that
right.
And I have certain ways to dig deep into that and, bring out the greatness in a potential leader. We are all leaders, but in order to get your self-confidence and your radiance glowing is, first of all, you have to really get clarity and see who you really are. And really embrace your greatness and embrace your uniqueness that you bring to the table. Because most people also, they always compare themselves to others.
Right.
Fatal. Mm-hmm. I mean, nobody can say
it's natural. I mean, that's
very natural.
From the time that we're a child,
of course,
we're taller or shorter, we're bigger or whatever. So it's a very natural thing.
And we always have the fear of failure, the fear of being judged. Let's say most people. I will not say everybody, but most people do. So basically, we dig deep and say, okay, here is what is my greatness. Here is what I'm special about, and really embrace it. The second step is very important, to get clarity. Clarity of what is truly important for me. Again, I say most people because it is most people. 87% of the people, and this is a Gallup study, is not happy about their lives and what they are doing. So this is something, because they do not, they follow old belief system. They learn from their parents, you have to be this and you have to be that, and then the environment is and then a lot of people follow the path of least resistance. I said, I cannot follow my passions. I cannot do what I really love to do because
of one reason or another. Yeah,
1,000 reasons. So I teach them to see what is really your heart desire. Discover that first, their greatness, their heart desire, and then get clarity on that, and then take action. These are very important steps. Develop an action plan that really keeps you on the path of your purpose and of what you truly want to be and what you want to do and what you want to accomplish in your life. And also really learn to make the right decisions. The decisions that every little single decision that we make every day leads us into the path to freedom and to where we want to be and what is our purpose here. Or is it a decision that say, maybe the path of least resistance, or listen to others that do not have an idea about your true purpose and true desires. So to learn, and there are very, very simple steps what you can really truly, and it is a process that, for example, I'm guiding my clients through, to really stop back and say, is this really truly following my passion, my purpose, this decision what I make, and always choose in favor of your passion and your.
And it seems that one thing that you is important in situations like this, and you can perhaps clarify for me if this is something that is part of how you work with people. But it's one thing to get clarity. It's another thing to make a plan. Mm-hmm. And then it's another thing to do it.
To implement it, yes, to implement it. And these are the steps we need to go. And the steps where you also need, again, I say most people, my experience with people, working with people over the last 40 years, is you hold their hand. And, sometimes...
Can you tell us about
accountability? People need help, need accountability. Most of the people cannot do it alone, at least not in the beginning, because you know how it is. A habit, you change a habit, it takes 28 days at least to have it ingrained into your psyche, and then there are certain things that you need to work on. And when I come then to the point, I mean, it's belief system, mindset. Self-worth, it's getting clarity, taking action, and then follow through step by step by making an action plan. And then
so without telling names or anything like that, but can you tell us a story of one of the people that you really helped, help them uncover or discover themselves and then begin to shine?
Absolutely. I have one of the ladies I'm working with now for quite some time. She used to be in a normal corporate job and was very unhappy. And then I also do a lot of energy work with, I'm also a healer. I work with energy techniques, energy methodologies, and I show people also how to use it on themselves, because energy is everywhere. And so in the process of coaching and mentoring her, she had this epiphany that her boss offered her $70 increase in her salary. And she said, "What? $70?" She was and then and we took that emotional impulse to move forward and say, okay, launch your business. And then step by step, she followed my directions, because it's not just doing the things what you normally do for the business. What I teach people as well is to energize your business, to energize your project, because there are invisible energies that can really make it, can be very destructive. Thought forms of other people, for example, if you have people that are jealous about your success and what you're doing, that can influence. And increasing the energy of your work, that it is more radiant. There are certain tools and techniques, and we have to work on ourselves. So I helped her to do that, and now she has a very successful business. She is teaching people self-love and find their passions, and that very successfully. And that within 6 months, she was out of her normal day job and was running her own business. And before, she was always afraid. She was had the fear to step out of her limelight. And once she discovered and settled her energy and changed her mindset and got the clarity of what she truly wanted to do, and plus that emotional kick, from the boss offering her $70 more, that was, of course, very helpful. But it's a process. It's a process that we need to go through. For some, it goes boom, because
Right.
it's
Right.
all a thought, and also understanding that a thought, our thought create our emotions, and our emotions can bring us down or lift us up. But most of the time it is that we have negative thoughts and negative emotions that are holding us back, and this is what we are working on. Not only and these are, as you see, there are certain steps we go. It is, the coming out of your shell, discovering your greatness, believing in yourself, getting clarity, take action, develop an action plan. And then there is another entity coming in, working with your energy. That is working with meditation, working with the right thought forms, creating your future. I call it creating your future, because this is something what you really, really can do. And I have a process which is based on NLP, but it goes much further, that helps to change your thought forms and anchor them in your subconsciousness. Because, you are a leader too, and you're coaching people. There's the iceberg, and we only know 10%. If we know 10%, some say we only know 3%, and we have less attention span than a goldfish. And the rest is subconsciousness, something what, our thoughts influence, and our subconsciousness does it what we tell them. So we have to learn to retrain our subconsciousness to do what we truly want to do. So that we need to start controlling our thoughts, and we can do that with wonderful techniques that I teach my clients.
So Petra, if I might jump in here a little bit,
Yes.
Your clients, what do they look like? What do they sound like? What are they doing? Are they business people? Are they parents? Are they PTSA leaders? Are they corporate? What makes the right kind of the person who you typically would work with? What are they looking for, and how do you?
Yes. So the people that I mainly work with are female leaders and entrepreneurs. They are experts. They are coaches, authors. They work in service-based, have a service-based business. I have some of my clients are also realtors, mortgage brokers. These are women that are passionate about what they do, but have not the courage, confidence.
I know they just want to up their game,
and they want to up their game. They want to, increase their business. They want a life. They love to have a freedom-based life. I work also with people that come out of the corporate world and want to make that shift into the business world.
But, it's a big change from corporate to entrepreneurialism.
Yes, absolutely. So,
and often experts don't see how big a shift it is until they
jump in, and then it is best, but then it is more comfortable to work with somebody who has the experience. You want to learn. You want to be mentored by somebody who has the experience. Like when I look back, I was 25 years in the corporate world. I came from. I'm trained optician, and then my first marriage took me to Egypt, and I worked in the Hilton Ramses in the beauty farm. I was heading the beauty farm very quickly, and then when I came back, I started in the beauty industry as a sales as a sales agent, and within a year I was part of the training team, and 2 years later I had my first international training job. So because I was passionate about, I discovered how it is. So I had all this experience, and also brought me to New York and worked international, and then became the second time. Then I met my lovely husband in New York. We came back to Germany then, because we started a healing institute, an energy institute here in Germany. Our child is born here. And then 2001, September 2001, you know what happened there?
I do.
9/11. Yes. So, but it was a month when we just moved back to New York. September 1st, 2001. It's wonderful timing. Because my ex-boss, I was heading the training department of German's largest department store chain for the beauty department. And he called me up and said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm here in Hitterton doing this." And he said, I need somebody to set up an international training for the Middle East and for the Asian markets. I need you to come to New York. So I was hired back, and my first day was September 1st. On September 9, I was just in Germany because I had to interview a fashion designer for a new line for the training program. And my husband, he calls me, except it happens. But we still moved. But it unfortunately, 6 months later, I lost my job. Brand new in the US, with a family, my husband not working, with a small child, and I'm a survivor. So I stepped up the plate, and then I started to have my own business. And I went into real estate. I had a very successful real estate business for 17 years. And 6 years ago, I had a big breakdown. I was working, had my blinders on, didn't do what I actually knew, and got myself into the hamster rat of making more money, more business, paying the bills, and so on and so on and so on. And then I got very sick and almost died. And it was very, very intense. And I hardly...
Yeah, those moments...
Yeah. So, but then I had an epiphany, and I had that wake-up call, and I changed my life completely. I lost 100 pounds within 8 months. I changed my life, and I said, I want to help people with all what I learned. I came here to help others to live the life that truly are meant to live, because I believe that it's our birthright to live a freedom-based lifestyle and live a happy, successful life, whatever we call that. So, and the clients that are attracted to me, they love the energy, they love the vibrancy that I bring to them, the warmth and the radiance that also can lift them up, and I teach them how to do that for themselves. And again, these are mainly women that are entrepreneurs, are from all sorts of fields, but they are more leader personality. Not everybody is a leader, but you can, when you are a leader and you are suppressing it, or, you have not the courage to come out, or you are confused, there's so many things, or you are shifting from corporate to a private business. It's scary, especially in this world today, with all what's happening with the pandemic and the insecurities. And what do I do? And how can I do that for myself? And this is where I come in with really guiding them, looking at also the unseen, and show them that when they do certain things and certain exercises and stick with them, everything else falls in.
So can you tell us now, give the audience one thing? And you said, there are things, if you just one thing to stick with that you would recommend that you see can significantly make a difference to people's lives. What? I suspect that could even, because I know that I did ask, one of the things that I ask my speakers is to leave a little trail, a little gift of some kind for our listeners. And perhaps you're going over that in that. But what is one thing that people can do that sparks them? That I know there's a lot more to this. You've made that very clear. We need to uncover some of the things that we're not doing, some of the things that we really have a passion to do. You need that clarity and all of those sorts of things. But still, there must be one thing that you'd like to give people in a way to feel that excitement.
To feel that excitement. Oh my goodness. Shall I guide you through my meditation? It would take too long.
If that will help the person feel, they're vibrant, connect somehow more with their vibrancy.
Okay, so
I don't know if it works that way, but
Here is what what I would love to share, because I come back to the thoughts and emotions. And I want to really make very clear that we are the creator of our universe. People need to realize that, and this what was my epiphany was in 2014 when I turned my life around completely, to realize that you are the change. Only you can change whatever is ongoing in your life. It's not your father, it's not your mother, it's not your upbringing, it's not the politics. It's
not all the ones that we want to blame.
No, and it's also, also even if the horoscope says this and that, and my friend says this and that. No, it's not. It is we are responsibility. And I think this is a very important key that we realize. And we have to, yes. It is advisable, I would say, because some people they are
people
reacting
can
when you say you have to.
Not.
But I tell you, we are in a very interesting time, and historically very unusual and very challenging time at this time of the in our lives. And it's historically never we have been in a situation like this. And we need to stop our little ego. We need to go beyond that, realizing that only we can do it, and not listening to all that nonsense all around, and following our true belief, listening to our heart. So what is really key is aligning, and I always call it's a body, mind, and spirit alignment that people do not really do. They say, meditation a little bit here and there, and a little bit yoga here and there. It is a process that when you really go deep and align, and I call it vertical networking. As I said before, we have the horizontal networking where we like spreading out and meeting people on a face-to-face. We need to align with higher possibilities of ourselves, higher energies of ourselves, higher, because it's not only what we see. We are much more. We are incredible beings.
Yeah, I like that. Vertical networking. I think that's a good one, Petra.
We really need to start learning and start implementing this in our life. And it is, Karen, it is, High Noon. I don't know if you know the movie with the Western High Noon. We are at a time, we cannot really wait and wake up till, and until we really get it, or until things happening. We have to take actions for our life. If we cannot do it on a bigger scale, we have to start with us, with our surrounding, with our family, with our friends, with our clients, with wherever we can go, wherever we can reach, and start radiating. And we only can do that with the right alignment with our higher beings, with our higher energies. And some pray, some meditate, but there are certain steps that you can do every day, 5, 10, 15 minutes, like the daily Superpower primer that you will be sharing, is an incredible tool. It changes lives. I just had this morning, one of my clients, she emailed me and said, Petra, I just wanted to send you an email. Your daily Superpower primer is changing my life. Recently I had some hiccups and I almost wanted to give up, and this brought me back. And then I'm a co-author of a book, and I'm launching my book is launching tomorrow actually, the Game Changer, and I have an article, and she said, I just read the article of the first paragraph and it was exactly what I needed. So this are there's so many things that I can share, and I can help you to propel yourself out of that hamster wheel, out of that life that you really do not love to live, and give you perspective and a vision, creating a vision, and then dealing and working with techniques that normally you do not hear about. And it's not easy to do them now, like within 5 minutes, but there are proven techniques that can help us to get into the right energy, the right mindset, and really change the life. And depending on how you do it and how often you do it, the faster it goes. It's like building a muscle. If you go every day and practice, you want to lose weight and do every day your exercises, you're going to lose faster. So but learning also to implement this stuff, because it's really time that we need to get the ball rolling and save humanity, basically. Each one of us is responsible. This is my way of viewing it, and my mission is to really get the message out and help people to step up to the plate and step out of the ordinary into the extraordinary and get it and live that life that they are meant to live.
So I think you're calling it, and I heard you just a few minutes ago calling it that, your success superpower primer. Tell us a little bit about that then.
Okay, the daily superpower primer is a tool that you do every day to align with yourself and with, I call it starting to vertically networking. Horizontal, vertical. So what it is, it guides you through a process. Number one, gratitude is very important.
Right, it's fundamental.
It guides you through a process of feeling the gratitude in your life. What wonderful things do you have? Because somebody who is grateful is happy. So we are starting up with come into the mindset in the energy of happiness and open our heart. Then, very important, it's a process guiding you through forgiveness. Forgiving yourself and also others that hurt you. That also helps you raise your vibration, raise your energy. And when you work with me or come to my course, I always speak about the vibrational levels. When you are in fear and anger and in a bad mood, then your vibration is low. When you're raising up into the gratefulness and happiness and love, and this can be measured actually. And I show this also to my clients how this looks like. When you raise your vibration up through this practice, the gratitude, the forgiveness, then you recall events that really made a difference in your life. You recall these events and it goes deep and you relive them and you call them in again and you bring them into your heart, and then you are creating new events for your future. You are basically creating visions in this meditation. You are creating visions and bringing them into your life, into your heart, and you feel, and while I'm talking about this, I feel the energy building up in myself, because I'm seeing what I'm looking for. I'm seeing where I will be. I'm seeing what I'm bringing into my life, and I feel the gratitude, and I feel the forgiveness, and I feel the love for humanity and the love for the people that are out there. And so we can create that with this daily superpower primer. It's a wonderful guided practice. It incorporates also breathing exercises. I call it the breath of fire. It's a yoga exercises where you clear out also energies out of your body, and it's an experience. Try it. You have it there in the chat.
Yes, it's in the chat, and it's out there on YouTube. So
that people can do it. It's an amazing work. And at the end, I always say I come then to a process that normally when you work with me, you create also your daily visions. And if you have a problem, we reframe them. And then we have a sentence: I'm so happy and grateful now that I am here talking to you.
Right.
And then we bring it onto a level of happiness and gratefulness that we are here and making it reality. So we write it then on a card and really anchor that. What you do is, and I learned that from a very good friend of mine. She developed a technique, the dynamic visioning techniques that I'm also teaching. I love to teach. You have that. You write down your goal for the day. You say, "I'm so happy." And what would be a goal for you that you'd love to accomplish?
a very simple one by the end of my day today, it would be to get some of my tech to work. But that's
okay.
that's
So then
that's a
you
little
say,
bit less of a.
I'm so happy,
that.
and then you go and say, okay, my problem is I don't know how to get my tech running. Okay, then you say, rephrase it. I am so happy and grateful now that my tech stuff is running smooth and easy. So you're putting the intention out.
Right.
You're putting
Right.
the belief out.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then you need to anchor it. Just, and just having an affirmation is not enough. So what you do is you write it on a card, and then you go to a mirror and look into the mirror and look into your face, into your eyes, and say that exact sentence. I am so happy and grateful now that my tech is running smooth and easy. So when you repeat that 3 times and put emotion in, put the happiness. Oh, I'm so happy and grateful. It's so, the emotion, just saying I'm so happy and grateful, it doesn't work. Our subconsciousness works and reacts to the emotion, the excitement.
Sure, it does.
This is how we program our subconscious, or this is part of how we program our subconscious, bringing us in that state of, and if you are not in that mood, fake it until you make it. But bring it in your life. Bring the happiness, bring the excitement, bring the gratitude in. And then you need support. Now, you could have somebody who comes to you and says, Karen, I am 100% supporting you, and I believe that your tech is running smooth and easily, and I'm 100% supporting you. So that you need that the subconsciousness needs that confirmation of support. Mm-hmm. So you have nobody, you do it yourself. You stay in front of the mirror, and for some, it's in the beginning, it's awkward. my daughter.
That's where everything begins. That's where everything begins.
But you look in the mirror and look into your eyes and say, Karen, I 100% support you, and I 100% believe that your tech is running 100% well, whatever your goal is. Mm-hmm. And repeat that 3 times, also with the emotion, and give yourself the confirmation it's basically validating your goal. So this is one part of how we bring this, because this is an NLP technique. We anchor this in the subconscious. And we can do that ourselves. And again, I have a process to teach that a little bit more in depth, because there are certain aspects that you want to make sure that you fulfill them. But at the end of the meditation is also, I say, write down your goal and say, I'm so happy and grateful. So this is part of the process as well. And this is where you create your future. Right. This is where you create your future. One of my mentors is Janet Edward, and I'm trained with her to do the passion test. It's an incredible tool to get clarity. And she always shares the story of one of her mentors from India. He is an Ayurvedic doctor. Mm-hmm. And he always tells, they come and visit them and say, oh, but why do you go? We just come in. He said, I'm going to plan the next 25 years of my life. And she said, how do you do that? He said, I remember back 25 years ago, I was a nobody. And as this nobody, I was an Ayurvedic doctor. And then I was, not very successful. And then one day I saw a guy on the other side of the street. It was one of my patients who looked so radiant. And I went over to him, did I do that to you? And he said, no, I have another Ayurvedic doctor. And said, you have to bring me to that doctor. So he went to that doctor, and he got a mentor. And this mentor told him, okay, write down, where do you want to be in 25 years? Mm-hmm. What do you want to have accomplished? And, what steps do you have to... And he did everything what his mentor told him. Step by step, he planned his steps of the way, and he was looking back. And then, at that moment, when they visited him, he said, "I'm planning the next 25 years because 25 years ago I didn't think that I would be somebody. When I look back, His goal was to be the personal Ayurvedic support for the Dalai Lama. He said, I want to have clinics all over the world. I want to have Mother Teresa praising my work, and everything came true. What intention you put out and what you create with passion and with resilience, that will happen. So this is also something what I teach my client to create their future and say, okay, here, step by step by step, and in 25 years you look back and you have it accomplished.
And I would imagine that there's a little bit of a difference in there between wishing that you could be that and really doing planning, putting the effort into creating that opportunity.
And believing and having the faith of doing it, because believing is something. Then you have these obstacles that come in your life. I always say the training moments where things are going, not as you expected, and then really stick to it and believe in it and have the faith that it's going. Because too many of us, they lost their faith, not only in themselves but also in what is out there. You may call it, God. You may call it source. You may call it the universe. It is unlimited what we can do, and we only using less than 5% of our capacity. And what I teach my clients is to go beyond, as I said, to go from the ordinary to the extraordinary. And it is a process of true revelation and truly getting to live your life.
So you take people on a life journey.
Yes, that too, and by the way, also,
they're the ones. Yes. They're the ones that are telling the story, crafting the story, but you're helping them understand their role in creating.
Absolutely, that and as well on top of that. Because of all my experience of over 40 years in sales and marketing and so on, I also am an intuitive business consultant. I teach also how to use techniques to raise a high frequency flow, and teach them also the basics. The horizontal networking, what do you need to do to, for example, attract more clients, how to proper network, what to do. I'm just working on a course because so many clients have problems with cash flow. I'm working on a mini course of creating a course to how to increase your cash flow, fastest path to cash flow. Where we go into, there are 3 steps that needs to be done. It's a horizontal networking, get out and speak, and then follow up and stay connected, which 99% of the people don't do. And also you have to, I also teach impact sales mastery and how to get cash on the side. But the basic, what is all surrounding it, and was rounding it all up, is the vertical networking and the high energy frequency flow that you can create with certain exercises, with certain meditations. And this is what I'm teaching.
So that's quite in a way, it's enormous, because it isn't always just what we're seeing, just what we're assuming. And I love the way you differentiate between the vertical networking and the horizontal. So it sounds like, for example, the gift that you're giving, and I'm just trying to kind of wrap up what you said, and you can correct me on this, but some of the core elements we can test out ourselves in your free gift. And that link is in the chat. It's on the website, it's in YouTube. But it seems like, especially when you get to the vertical networking and the alignment there are more advanced, things that you just can't teach in a few minutes, and that's understandable. So then you fill out the 360 degrees, so to speak, of our lives through taking people through that course and that training. Yeah. So remarkable, Petra. So, I would assume that, as you say, not everybody is looking at these components as a way to build your base as an individual and then expand it into your business world as well. So that's really exciting, Petra. Thank you for coming.
And it's very unusual, realizing how this work can really, truly affect your business is amazing. So I encourage people to connect with me and
just to begin by downloading your gift, and that's a great
downloading my gift, or they can email me.
People always have to start with one step, and then they get to the second one.
Absolutely, they can email me. My email is petra@petracontrada.com. Get in touch with me. Try the daily Superpower primer, and I would love to hear your feedback.
Yeah, and right below wherever this video is, other than the live streaming, right on the page and in the app, it will be the contact information for Petra. So anytime you want to come back and find your way, or even if it's sometimes life happens, a couple of months down the road, you go, I still want to follow through on that. Come back and either to Xceptional TV or onto the app, and you can find that information. Petra will be there. And you can always contact me because I always know how to get hold of Petra too.
Can I just say one sentence to the audience?
Yes.
And say, I really encourage you to stop running your life and business, start leading your life and business. It's a totally different experience.
Absolutely. Running implies the little hamster that you mentioned before, whereas leading is all about you taking charge, being the pilot of your ship and your journey through life.
Exactly.
Thank you very much, Petra, for your time. I know that next week we have another remarkable lady who's going to be coming onto our show. So I just want to do a little throw out there. Natasha Todorovic will be speaking on spiral dynamics next week. But in the meantime, please make sure you take advantage of Petra's offer, contact her, and each day put a little bit of time into that, exactly what you're saying, to really envision, to connect, but then to ground and anchor through our emotions, because that is, it's kind of a major part of who we are as human beings. I refer to it very simply as the human element, which is also a kind of a very... The part below the surface of the iceberg, but critical.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
And we look forward to seeing you again sometime, Petra.
I hope so.
Stay well, and make the world a more beautiful and happy place. We certainly need that. You brighten it up just by being here. Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Petra.
sweetheart, for inviting me. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.